What is up, guys? Cedar B here, coming at you with a war recap, and apologize, I've been out for a while. I've had some stuff come up this week, so feel a little distant from the clan and the game and just in general, but getting back into the swing of things, so let's get right into it. As you can see, we had a defeat going against Bunker Chileno. We did do an NDL type war with this, so different structure than we have been running, so that may have played a factor, but either way, they did do a great job coming out with a 4-star victory on us, and they even left 2 Town Hall 9 bases, and we'll look at the hit rates here and see what happened. We had 90.5 total percent destruction. They had 94.9 on their end, and before we get any further, turn off those sound effects. And then I'll be doing coverage on the Rogue Elite War as well. But looking at the hit rates, sorry about that. 11v11, we had a 20% hit rate, 2 for 10 on that, so struggled a little bit there. They had a 3 for 8 hit rates on their end with 11v11, so 38% for them. So good job to them. Our 10v10s, we had 1 Town Hall 10 3 stars, so coming out with 7% hit rate on that, and they came out with a 33% hit rate on their Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10, so 6 out of 18 for them. So I think that's definitely where the difference was going to be the Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 10 game, because our Town Hall 9s came out, we had a 57% hit rate, 16 attacks to 16 out of 28 for that. They had a 44% hit rate, 14 out of 32 for that. For the hitting up, we didn't have any Town Hall 10 versus 11. They did have 2 attacks, Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 11, 50% hit rate for them, and we had 2 Town Hall 9 hits on their Town Hall 10s, 50% hit rate for that, 2 for 4. So yeah, we had a little bit of a tougher war. I think definitely might have given us some insight as to where we can adjust for these later NDL wars and just in general. But overall, great war from both sides. 6-pack shoutouts right now. We have JMK, Messiah, Jarl, Tony Montana, and Moonlight Farmer. So let's get right into the attacks. We are going to start off with Tony Montana coming in with TDH. And if you know anything about me, I love TDH, my favorite attack, and we are going to have 2 of those to cover in this war for Town Hall 9. So he starts off his queen at 6 o'clock, Wizard to start the funnel at 7 o'clock, wants her to start working towards 3, and then he's going to bring his king in around that army camp at about 3 to 4 o'clock, and that's just going to help cut her into the base where he wants her. He's not going to worry about this first corner of the base. He's just going to come in here, get the queen taken out, and continue walking down or walking up towards 3 o'clock. Once he does that, he'll get the CC drawn, and he's going to be in good shape. So drops the first rage, gets through the queen, saves his ability, so that was the point on that. And with TDH, generally you see 4 rage and a haste and a poison, or in this case 3 rage, 3 haste and a poison. So you're bringing those 3 rage at least for your queen. The last 2 spell space besides the haste that you'll bring, you definitely want to bring one of those. They are for your queen. Be liberal with them. And as you can see, I mean, he dropped the first one early, dropping the second one on the entry, and he's going to have 1 more he's going to be able to drop once she works a little bit more into the base. And with the entry as well, one of the things with TDH, generally if you can get a good path to get a couple air defenses, queen, or generally you want to get the splash defenses down. The point defense is not going to play as big of a factor with TDH, simply because you have so much troop space invested into your minions that you need to ensure that they're going to be alive. Because you'll see in some of these TDH attacks that you know, all the balloons are down, your queen is up, and the minions are up, and the minions end up taking out the last air defense or a couple of, you know, last standing air threats. And you know, after all your defense targeting troops are down, just like in this scenario. But we can see all of the minions working through the backside, and the fact that he cleared the path for those minions up until that point with his Lalo portion. He didn't scatter them around the base, didn't use them as funnel or cleanup, or, you know, he used it as a force to push through the base and to back up his Lalo portion, and you can see how that benefited him in this scenario. Another thing to keep in mind is he did work his queen from 6 to 3, bringing in his king at 3 o'clock, working towards 12, where they are now. And he brought his Lolunian portion in from, you know, 9 o'clock side going towards 12, so that full force moving through the base at the same time is just like a big wave. So, great attack, Tony. Love to see the TDH, and we'll watch another one here in a second, but we are going to be taking a look at the Mighty Eye coming in with an Archer Queen Walk Avalanche, and doing a great job with this. So he's going to start his queen up here at 12 o'clock. He's going to want her to work towards 9 o'clock, clear off just one side to keep everything nice and tight for his kill squad, and brings in his first and second golem. CC gets drawn. He didn't want his queen to worry about the CC. Generally with these attacks, you want the kill squad to take that out, because your queen is generally not going to be trying to get herself into much trouble per se. You don't want her, you know, you're not investing really any spell space into her most of the time, or some of the time. You just want her to have a nice clean path to walk around the base, and as you can see, she's really a no threat. She took out a couple defenses, getting her health nice and back up. The funnel was, you know, created obviously up until 3 o'clock, jumped in, and now he has all of his spells used. All of his bowlers except for one are inside the base. Gonna have to pop his king ability here in just a second, and he already has more than half the base taken out. Decides to drop the 4 hogs that he brought in on the Expo. You know, it being locked down, and obviously the pathing would have been an issue, so good call on holding on to the hogs that late into the raid. You know, great eye on that, Mighty. And he just has to work through the last little bit of this. You know, the healers have split at this point. Queen is a little low, but she's not taking any damage, so she will get back up. And up here, this is going to be where the clutch comes in. 2 wizards, the Golemite, and the bowler with the healer on it is going to just get through this last little Tesla section and secure that 3-star. So good plan on that, Mighty. Great use of your queen, getting her to work around the outside, not getting her into too much trouble, ensuring she's going to stay alive, and you know, definitely a good call on that. So great attack. We'll go ahead and move on. And we're going to be taking a look at the other TDH, Messiah. Excuse me. And I originally had tried to hit this base with TDH, didn't end up working, and he came in and made a couple of adjustments and really crushed it. So starting off at 3 o'clock, he wants to cut the funnel here, pretty much at that air defense where this is, and he wants her to work towards 6 o'clock. First air defense goes down, and at this point he just has all the access in the world to those wizard towers, getting down some of those cannons. You know, not a threat against the Lolunian, but as far as pathing in general goes, it's going to play out and benefit later. So, and as if you did watch my TDH video tips and tricks, you know, I mentioned in there and with other videos, you know, wall breaking into that first compartment, generally, I can't say it's not a good idea, just because, you know, it's base specific as always, but a lot of the time I found trying to break into that first compartment is not going to have the queen go inside, and then it's just wasted troop space. So rather than trying to get lucky, in my opinion. Finding that getting her through the first section or two and then ensuring where the wall break is going to go, like he did, getting into the compartment that he's in, just went very smoothly. As you saw, there was no trouble, handled that CC very well. And at this point, all the wizard towers are down except for that one that the Lunian portion is going into now. And the difference that he made on this is, I believe, if I remember correctly, I deployed my minions behind my Lalo portion starting out. He's going to bring them in on this second side and have them follow up and where he dropped his king. So those just few adjustments really made the attack come through. Very viable and very doable. So love seeing that. And yeah, just absolutely crushes it. Minions are following behind like we talked about in the other attack as well. And finally has to pop that ability. One last standing air defense, and then just has a Tesla to deal with. Look at all the minions that are up, and you know, it's pretty much game over. So good job, Ness. Very well executed. Love seeing it. So all right, now we'll go ahead and get up to the Town Hall 10 3-star. It's going to be Lix, and she took out 8, and she came in with a mass bowler. 2 healers are going to be on one side, and Golem is going to be on the other side, generally because of where the air defense placement would be. So starts off at 9 and 12 o'clock and is going to work towards the bottom right of the base. Wants to just come all the way through, just slap in the base like a big wave, just like TDH, just like we talked about. And you know, just very powerful, as we can see. All spells have been dropped except for one heal spell. Going to be hanging on to that till just now. Drops it down. Bowlers are getting through that wall, but that Inferno Tower is dealing some damage, and that's going to be one thing that they'll have to wrap back around for to take care of. One Inferno Tower does go down, and the base is pretty much dwindled at this point. Like we just said, the Inferno Tower down there at about 9 o'clock is going to be the last standing threat. You know, with the force that's moving around the 3 o'clock side right now, not going to, you know, that point defense isn't going to be able to keep up with those witches and those bowlers, and the queen meeting up with them right now, getting through this wall, is just going to help seal the deal. So we'll put this in 2 times a little bit, let it work through a little bit quicker. Yeah, and like we said, you know, that point defense can't keep up with it. The healers ended up jumping on the queen, so that is a GG. Great job, Lex, hitting this base. You know, good as always. So let's go ahead and get through these last walls, and we'll get up to the Town Hall 11s. And some really good Town Hall 11 action. So of course, we'll be taking a look at Alexander using HDHB, CC Giants, bowlers, and well, a light bulb just went off in my head. HDHB Town Hall 9 with the Max Giants. Yeah, that might be a pretty viable thing. I might actually try and practice with that tonight, so who knows. But he started, I'm kind of curious as to what he did with the baby dragons. Obviously he cut the funnel, took out some buildings. I guess what I'm curious about is if he was anticipating on trying to get the giants to come into here and wall break in here, or if he was just, like I said, cutting the funnel and wanted them to walk around to the left. He anticipated that happening. I can only wonder, I'm not sure, but it did end up working out pretty well. Gets those giants to work around, gets a raged wall breakthrough, and you know, at this point where they are now, Still has his queen ability. Warden ability was popped, but he's got almost half the base down just with those 6 giants, 8 bowlers, and his heroes. So extremely powerful push, and he has 3 remaining heal spells for his hogs. Still has a big chunk of the base to take out, but as long as he can play his cards right, evenly, distribute his heal spells, he'll be in pretty good shape. So at this point, Queen taking out the Town Hall, gonna have to pop that ability. 1 heal spell left, gets through that Wizard Tower, and once he gets to that higher concentration right there with the Expo, he's going to drop that last heal spell. And the King being up and not having a poison, it's really going to do some damage on those hogs. He is going to hit a couple of spring traps, so it's going to dwindle them down pretty good. But he ends up being able to pull it off. The Queen will end up taking out the enemy Barbarian King, and those hogs are going to finish off that Archer Tower and that last Tesla. The last minion will be placed up there as well to help with the cleanup. And he's just going to have to let the attack work through, and he'll have to circle back around for this gold storage, or gold collector. So we'll get fast forward through the cleanup. Love seeing this HGHB Town Hall 10. I mean, 3 healers even coming in with that. So love it, love it, love it. Great job out, Alexander. So now we'll get into our last attack, which is Bodie Wildwood. And he took out number 1 with Archer, Queen Walk, Mass Bowler, and I absolutely loved this attack. Just the way everything kind of worked through, the pathing that he anticipated, just the read on the base, very well executed. Queen placed up at 1 o'clock, obviously wants her to work towards 3 o'clock, and what he's doing right now, excuse me, sorry about that, guys. What he's doing right now is he's ensuring that the next portion of his attack is going to go the direction he wants it to. That's pretty much what he's using the Queen for. He's going to have her meet up with the Mass Bowler portion of this. And what's really nice is when that Eagle Artillery activates, and I don't know exactly all the nuances with the Eagle Artillery, but from what I know, I think it targets the highest hit point troop on the map, or something like that. I know it prefers golems. I'm not exactly sure, but with that P.E.K.K.A being placed down, that Eagle locked right onto it, and having it work towards that 6 o'clock side, distracting it from his main bowler portion that's coming through 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock right now, left them completely untouched by the Eagle Artillery, because when that P.E.K.K.A died, as we saw, he popped the Warden ability the next time the Eagle Artillery was coming down on his main force coming through the base. And as you can see, look how many troops are still left standing. Still has that Bowler Witch portion working around the flank, helping to do the cleanup. And this was just an absolutely beautiful attack. You know, the way he funneled with the Queen brought it down towards 3 o'clock. Bowler Witch portion coming in from about 4:30, or about 4:30 or so, working towards where we're seeing it now at about 8 o'clock. And great execution, great read, and love to see those. Love to see all these attacks. So, guys, like I said, apologize that I've been off the radar for a couple of days. Just had some stuff come up, and you know, we're all human. So, coming out with more videos. I got 2 coming for you today, and until next time, subscribe, like. You know, let me know you guys are enjoying this content. So, till next time, Cedarby, out.